This video, we're going to go through the initial setup of a BK Mikro Basic controller. First, we're going to click on File, then we're going to click Open. It's going to pop up a dialog box. We'll select BK Mikro 9. Once that's open, that's pulling the settings that are currently stored in the controller. We'll go over to Global Settings and we'll select our scanner type. So if we're connected to a TK9 series scanner, it will auto detect that. If we're connected to a TK8A or TK7RL, we want to go ahead and select one of those scanners from the drop-down list. The other scanners are based on variations of wand lengths or speeds of check for the various TK9 series scanners. Next, we'll go over to the rotational direction. So this is just going to determine whether the scanner is scanning in the counterclockwise or clockwise direction, and that's based off the view from the connection end. If you need to go the other way, just select the other direction and we'll rotate the other way. Power on move being active or inactive. Normally we leave this to active. What that does is as soon as the controller gets power, it's going to home itself. If you didn't want the wand to move, then you could select inactive. Return travel monitoring. Normally we leave that inactive. That's just basically watching the wand return home after it's output the signal if we want to monitor that or not. Advanced settings, that'll be a different video. We can get into some of those. This will stick to the basic stuff. Next, we're going to go over to output settings and we select what we want our OK polarity to be, whether we want it to be normally open or normally closed. That's going to be application dependent. Output signal mode, whether we want it to be at the object or at the home position. Again, application dependent. And finally, whether you want your output state to be for the OK and the KO to be static, which is going to be like latching, or if you want it to be valid with teach start, which is going to be the output's going to be active as long as there's 24-volt DC on either the teach or start input, or finally like a momentary, so you can set a time in milliseconds that you want that that output to be active for. Once you're done setting that, you'll go ahead and click save. It'll save it. Now we can go over to our function settings tab. You'll notice the object position is currently 0 from the default settings here. So what we would do is we would teach it. You can teach it through either the software, the input for teach on the controller, or the push button on the front of the controller. We'll teach it through the software here. So the wand's going to rotate out. It sets that at 104 degrees, and then we've got a tolerance of plus or minus 3 degrees. So as long as it stops at 101.4 degrees to 107.4 degrees, it's going to say that it's okay. If it stops either before that or goes past that, then we'll get a KO for the fault. Now, if we wanted to go and do a right-left check, all we would do is select the RL mode, and then we could teach it from there. And now it's going to go right and left, and it stores those positions basically plus 56.2 and minus 56.2 degrees, and it wand centers in between the two positions. The other option would be if we wanted to do free space, we could have it do a free space checking, and that's going to be to determine like if a part is ejected out of a subspindle or if the wand is scanning an area to make sure nothing is there. Once we're all done, we'll hit save. Once we have the correct settings that we want in there, and then it's going to put all those settings in the BK Micro, and you're ready to go.